see down at OU, and I literally took this to him.
This is a letter from an inmate, and we also went to high school together, so someone I knew in jail.
The press pass from Mary Fallon. Remember her? Her inauguration back in 2011.
I'm like a candy girl at heart. Oh, candy wrappers.
This is a sign I was supposed to give to a friend. She was supposed to get married and move into a house on Whitworth Street, and then they broke up. So the sign still sits here.
What about on my desk?
What David found in his desk. And I would like to ask Bobby Miller right now for a glossy of her own. We will share more of these fun little stories of us moving downtown throughout the newscast this morning. Also, our first newscast will be Sunday night at 5:30 in the heart of downtown Oklahoma City. Well, happening today at the State Fairgrounds, the Oklahoma Christmas Show. Doors open at the Bennett Event Center at 10 a.m. and will close at 8 p.m. You can buy tickets online for $6. More than 200 vendors are there offering jewelry, gifts, and more before the holiday season. You won't want to miss it. Well, still ahead on News 9 this morning, you're taking a live look. Hold on. There it is, of the beautiful downtown cityscape. We'll be getting a look at that at 5:30 Sunday evening when we move downtown. And it looks beautiful, but it's cold. Andrew has our full forecast coming up next.
Oklahoma's own News 9 starts now.
Well, good morning and thanks for joining us this Saturday morning. I'm Tevis Hillis. Your time now 9:30. We have 30 more minutes in the building we've called home for 70 years, and then we'll be moving to downtown Oklahoma City. Of course, we'll be telling you about all the past and the history in this building. But right now we need to do our job, and that's bring you the weather. Last night's weather pretty crazy.
What? Yeah.
It
it
was pelting on me.
It was nuts, and these were big flakes too.
Yes.
This wasn't the first snow of the year. We was like, oh look, there's like 3 snowflakes coming down. This is like a snow globe getting violently shaken by your nephew or something. I mean, this was some great snow. This shot out in Edmond from Kathleen Blake sent in yesterday. There's that snow globe effect. Some kids playing soccer, running around, staying warm. If you're ever chilly outside this winter, run around. That'll get the blood working and feel nice. Over the last 24 hours, or really from just that one burst of snow, a good chunk of the metro saw about a 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch. From that, off to the east, some areas thought about 1 inch to 2 inches. So a little bit of a dumping kind of quick clipper system that passed through, and now it's all the way up in Indiana and Ohio. We are dry. We're going to be nice and dry this whole weekend, but it is cold outside. We're in the 30s right now for the air temperatures, but notice that freezing line is starting to lift farther and farther north. Behind it, north of it, still upper 20s for a lot across northern Oklahoma. A north breeze is still keeping things on the chilly side, and it's picked up a little bit. It's about 10 to 15 miles per hour for most of the state now. So even though temperatures have warmed, wind chills still cold. Feels like the mid and upper 20s in central Oklahoma, low 20s and teens in north central Oklahoma. So it's a chilly morning today. Really, it's just going to be chilly all day long. A ton of sunshine, 38 by 11, 43 at 1, and our high in Oklahoma City today, 45 degrees. So we're capped, 40s. That's all we're getting. We'll be back in the 30s by the time we get to 7 o'clock tonight. It's a clear one. That's going to allow all that heat that we get today to go bye-bye. So another cold morning tomorrow. Another snow chance, snow machine on the way for Monday. We're going to take a look at that coming up from the Bob Mills West Center.
All right, Andrew, we'll talk to you in just a few. Hey, don't forget, our team of weather experts and storm trackers will be out today helping everyone get prepared for the winter season. You'll want to be prepared before Monday. They'll be at the Bob Mills Furniture from 10 a.m. to noon. The first 100 people to come by will get a winter weather kit for free, so be sure to stop and say hello. Well, overnight, Democrats have secured another seat in the U.S. Senate. CBS News projects Arizona Senator Mark Kelly has won his re-election bid, but control of the Senate is still up in the air. CBS's Bradley Blackburn has more.
After days of ballot counting in Arizona, one major result is coming into focus. CBS News projects Arizona Senator Mark Kelly has defeated Republican Blake Masters. Late Friday, Kelly took to Twitter with a simple message: "Thank you, Arizona." It's a hard-fought victory for Democrats who now need one more seat to control the Senate, with 2 races outstanding. In Nevada, the race between incumbent Senator Catherine Cortez Masto and Republican challenger Adam Laxalt is still a toss-up. And in Georgia, prominent Republicans are already campaigning with Herschel Walker ahead of a runoff next month against Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock.
I was built for this. Yes.
Republicans did see a win in Nevada late Friday. In the race for governor, Joe Lombardo is the projected winner, defeating sitting Democratic Governor Steve Sisolak. In Arizona, the governor's race is still a toss-up, and Maricopa County elections officials criticized Republican candidate Carrie Lake, who has questioned the process.
We're not doing anything wrong at all. And that someone from here would suggest that we are doing something wrong, that's frustrating.
Officials there say it can take 10 to 12 days after the election to reach the final results. This year, a record number of mail-in ballots has slowed the vote count. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Well, we're less than 2 weeks away from Thanksgiving, and shoppers are feeling the impact of higher prices for the holidays. A Wells Fargo report reports prices for turkeys, eggs, flour, and other Thanksgiving dinner staples are up big this year. Some shoppers say higher prices and a lack of supply is a recipe for frustration.
Absolutely paying more. Definitely the grocery bill has gone up, even outside of the holidays, but especially towards with the holidays coming up.
Well, food pantries say the high prices could lead to a higher demand. The Eastern Food Bank of Oklahoma is preparing meals to feed up to 100,000 people this Thanksgiving. Well, veterans who are tribal citizens are documenting their service at the First Americans Museum. Every year for Veterans Day, the museum opens their database to add more tribal vets. Our Barry Mangold has the inside look at the process.
Those, I think, twice or three.
Chickasaw citizen and veteran Ron Hayes says it's about honor.
I served with the United States Marine Corps in Vietnam. I was a Marine Corps sniper.
Honoring the country and the Chickasaw Nation.
To show the American people, Oklahoma people here, of the power of the Native American tribes here, put together, all together. We are a strong coexistence. And we want to work with everybody.
That's why Ron visited the First American Museum for the Making History Project, joining an endless list of Native American veterans.
And in this database are...
Dr. Heather Ottone is a senior curator at FAM and says historically Native Americans have enlisted in the armed forces 10 times more often as the rest of the U.S. population.
Their defense and service to the nation is not only to the United States, it's to their tribal communities.
Ron poses proudly for a solo portrait and another with his twin brother Don, who served in the Army, making it a portrait of warriors.
Being a warrior in the terms that we use in our own communities for warrior are more like servant, protector.
Because we honor ourselves, we honor the land that we live in. We honor the community and our tribe.
Barry Mangold, Oklahoma's own, News 9.
Well, to enter into the Making History Project, you can visit the First Americans Museum today between 11 and 4. Well, Midwest City holds their annual Veterans Day Parade. Despite the cold and wind, Oklahomans came out to honor our nation's bravest.
What's your favorite part about the parade? All of you guys can answer.
What's your favorite part?
Planes.
The planes.
The candy.
This is an annual tradition for us.
Military family.
We're with our military family, yeah.
So yeah, we try to do this every year. Rain, sleet, snow.
We're out here.
Great to be here, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, the parade also celebrated 80 years of partnership between Midwest City and the Tinker Air Force Base. Well, good news for all veterans who enjoy the outdoors. Veterans can visit national parks for free for life. The Military Lifetime Pass waives fees for vets, current service members, and their dependents and Gold Star families. Passes can be accessed online or at parks across the country. Well, the annual Oklahoma City tree lighting is next Thursday. The lighting will take place outside the ballpark in downtown Oklahoma City. Main attractions of the event will showcase diverse holiday performances. Kids can get photos with Santa Claus, have their face painted, and so much more. The event is free and open to everyone. Well, still ahead, the Oklahoma Speaker of the House reelected to his 4th term. Charles McCall is in the hot seat. That's next.
Good morning. It's Hot Seat. I'm Scott Mitchell, and pleased to have this man has made history in Oklahoma this week. Speaker Charles McCall. Good to have you, Mr. Speaker. How are you?
Scott, I'm doing well. Thanks. It's great to be back with you. It's great to be with you post-election here, and the first day that we begin the process of organizing the 59th legislature of the state of Oklahoma.
You've been elected for the 4th term as Speaker of the House. That's in some history right there. Your thoughts about being selected for a 4th term as Speaker, and what your thoughts are on this day?
Well, Scott, thank you. It's I tell you, I'm once again humbled and honored that the caucus would select me to lead and try to play that role of helping, working with the House members on their agenda to move the state of Oklahoma forward. And it's not about one person in the state. It's about the House of Representatives and the people, listening to the people of the state who sent us here to do the work on their behalf. So I'm honored to have that, the opportunity to do that again. And yes, and I'm doubly honored to be able to serve in that position for, on a historical basis. But that doesn't change the fact that we've got a lot of work to do, and we're going to come make the 59th legislature, I hope, the very best term that I've seen in my legislative time in service for the people of the state of Oklahoma.
So for your 4th term, you're going to be serving with Governor Kevin Stitt, who is reelected this week.
Yes.
And so far as we know, Greg Treat's going to be the pro tem again over in the Senate. My thoughts are to ask this question. I mean, these are gentlemen that you've served with for several years now. What are your thoughts in terms of moving forward with veteran leadership in the Senate and in the governor's office, and where you want to see us go as a state over the next few years?
Well, it's always an exciting time to coming back off an election cycle with the new members that have been elected to the, whether it's the State House of Representatives or the Oklahoma State Senate, and even Governor Stitt on his reelect for a 2nd term. These elections give us an opportunity to talk to constituents, to engage them, to hear what's relevant to them today, and really what are the kitchen table issues facing the people of the state, and where do we need to direct our time on those. I'm really proud that the House of Representatives, being the chamber that's closest to the constituents in the state of Oklahoma, we convened today, Scott, to have our internal elections, and that starts the process of organizing for the 59th. We won't fully finish that process until January 3rd, when we convene for organizational day, which is mandated by the state's constitution. But between now and then, we will be, coming together to find out what that agenda is going to be. Our members have been on the doorsteps, whether they had their own race this election cycle, primaries, general elections, or no race at all. You are out engaging your constituents in your district all the time, and looking forward to putting together a great agenda to move forward starting in February.
Mr. Speaker, congratulations, selected for a 4th time by your colleagues to be Speaker of the House. It's history, and we congratulate you, and thanks for coming on Hot Seat.
Thank you, Scott. Great to be with you.
See this again at news9.com/YourVoteCounts, and follow me on Twitter @MitchellTalks.
From the Bob Mills Weather Center, meteorologist Andrew Adams.
We had a little winter fun yesterday. Some kids enjoying some snowballs, or at least munching on them in Yukon. Note, if you're going to eat snow, don't eat any of the snow that's near or on roadways. That's dirty, filthy snow. I just wouldn't eat snow anyways, but I can't stop everyone, and no one can stop these guys. Busy clearing the yard markers out the football game in Midwest City last night. A nice winter day we had, or at least evening. Pretty crazy. We got half an inch almost in Will Rogers. That tied a daily record and left us 1/10 of an inch shy of our monthly average. Monday, I think we catch that at least here in Oklahoma City. And speaking of Oklahoma City, it is sunny right now across downtown on our Regency Cam and our Pike Pass Sky Cam network. Still chilly, 32 feels like 24 degrees outside. The freeze line is drifting farther to the north, so low 30s and upper 20s to the north. Most of us are starting to crack into the mid 30s for the most part. A couple 40s are starting to sprinkle in. Winds, though, still strong enough right now that we do have a wind chill. Feels like the mid and upper 20s in central Oklahoma. Feels like the low 30s out in western Oklahoma, and still feels like the teens for some communities up in far north central Oklahoma. So chilly. We got a lot of sunshine, though. That'll be nice. And then here's our next system. That is going to be swinging its way through on Monday. It's our winter weather machine. It'll be chilly today and tomorrow. Tomorrow a little bit warmer, but not by much. Then that system arrives. First, in Oklahoma City at least, we will see rain, and then it'll transition into a mix and then snow through the afternoon and evening. Out in western Oklahoma, like far western Oklahoma and the Panhandle, more likely to see that snow longer, if not the entire time that this system comes through, with mainly just the rain to the south. Much colder air still pulling up to the north from Canada. Another system down to the southwest on Wednesday. That one looks like it'll miss us, but it still impacts us. Even if we stay dry from this, each one of these waves that comes through is going to reinforce our cold air, so we don't really have an opportunity to see any warming. And by next Saturday, we could be talking about more light snow. Beyond that, as we go into Thanksgiving week, look, just no warming, really, for most of the United States in the blue. That's below average to much below average. If you live in Florida, you're lucky. If you live in the Pacific Northwest, you're a little bit warmer than average, which isn't that incredibly warm. But for the most part, the country is going to be cold the next few weeks. 45 this afternoon in Oklahoma City, 50 or at least close to it in Altus, some low 40s to the north. So it feels like temperatures today, 40s, and even some upper 30s. Up in Morgantown for the OU game, it'll be cool early on, 50, and then falling back into the 40s as you head through the game. Rain chances also increasing throughout the game as well. So soggy and cold. It'll make for a difficult passing matchup, but I don't think West Virginia is that hot. I could see the Sooners pulling off the win. I could also see the Cowboys pulling off the win against Iowa State this afternoon in Stillwater. It'll be colder, low 40s throughout, but Iowa State, not that much going on up in Ames, Iowa this season. 26 tomorrow morning, Oklahoma City, 24 in Ponca City, Enid, and Alva, near 30 in Altus. Wind chills early on tomorrow. Early churchgoers, keep this in mind. It'll feel like the teens and low 20s early on. By the afternoon, we warm up to 50 in Oklahoma City, some 40s to the northwest, up to almost the mid 50s in southwest Oklahoma and the Panhandle. But then the temperatures come crashing down once again as we go through Monday. Highs in the 30s. Starts off with rain here in central Oklahoma, transitions to snow through the afternoon, mainly snow out west, and that's why they've got the bullseye for snow. Northwest Oklahoma and the Panhandle more likely to see about 1 to 3 inches. We could see the occasional isolated 2 in any of that light blue shading, but we're looking mainly at less than an inch for a lot of us. And once again, the cold pattern, it's not going anywhere. We're staying cool no matter how you look at it. I mean, the warmest afternoons we have ahead, we're like, oh, it's going to be 50 degrees. How great.
I still can't get over last night.
I know. It was
snow
like
just came down.
a winter wonderland.
Exactly.
And the flakes were huge. Oh, it was awesome.
I was at the football game. I was shooting for News 9, and it started off great green turf. Everything was great. Boom, pelted down. The poor guys were sliding everywhere. No one could keep the ball in their hands.
I bet they were loving it.
Yeah. Hey, guess what? We're going to close out our newscast after this. It's our final moments in Kelly.